BASKEY. Whoa, too close. Welcome to the Town Alone Basketball and Hockey Podcast. I'm your host, Adam Ness, and with me, as always, he was recently featured in GQ's Sexiest Man of the Year edition. Mike, how you doing today?
Great.
I said the Sexiest Man of the Year thing. I could not, for the life of me, I was going to do a whole Met Gala thing. Could not remember the Met Gala.
Yeah. What? I know what the Met Gala is, but is that happening now? Is that why it's topical?
Yeah. Heidi Klum was there. She was dressed as a statue. I know that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's so
you got
cool.
you got any, like, beloved Heidi Klum memories, Mike?
Hold on.
Are you Googling Heidi Klum? Is that what's happening right now?
She's one of those people who's like
Loud
so
movie
in the like cultural zeitgeist, like you know she's a person.
I in fact do know she is a person. That is a very good point.
But if
Mike.
you were like, what was she in? I wouldn't know. Like, oh, yeah, she's a model. That's about it.
Model citizen.
Model. You don't know that.
You're right. Maybe she's kind of a bitch.
Oh my god, she looks ridiculous in that getup. The sad part is that people were like, oh my god, that is amazing.
You see, she was dressed as a statue, Mike. A statue.
Yeah.
You ever seen that shit before?
Ridiculous.
Fucking nuts. Is that too much swearing right for the start of this?
Fucking goddamn fucking crazy, am I right?
That's gonna hurt the algorithm. The good old algae rhythm right there.
Good old Don Cheadle. Good old Iron Legs, or whatever he is.
Donnie C.
Donnie C is what we call him.
Mike.
What?
How's life? How are things? How you been?
You know, life sucks. But sports life is great.
Yeah. The Buffalo Sabres
life
up
is great,
1-0 in the second round of the playoffs. No. You know the last time that happened?
What?
Fun fact, it never has.
It has happened before.
It's never happened a single time.
But it's funny though, because this whole year for the Sabres, like anybody who runs like a social account for like some like sports company or whatever, they had a folder where they just had a template that it said like the Buffalo Sabres just did blank for the first time since blank. This entire season has been nothing but like first since whatever.
Mad Libs.
Yeah, they just had it ready, had it in the can, ready to go.
Hey,
other than that, also my Knicks up 2-0 in their series, so I can't complain.
Yeah, Knicks are coasting. Knicks are rolling. I mean, last night's game was a little bit, you had to rely on some Brunsoning. But
yeah, all tight. If I should we go ahead and say it now since the Sixers played us so close last night but got blown out game 1? Do you want to say it? Should I say it?
What are you gonna say?
Embiid Ewing theory?
Oh. I like how the Ewing theory here doesn't even apply to their ability to functionally do anything. Like
Right.
They haven't won a game. You're just Ewing theorying the fact that they played the game closer.
They just played it closer. And I guess
Yeah.
really it's not Ewing theory because Ewing usually means your best player, and Tyrese Maxey was still out there. So
Yeah, VJ Edgecombe and Kelly Oubre, the best players. HGH Paul George.
yeah, crunch time late, he threw up such a bad shot. And I was like, there's Paul George. There's the Paul George I've been looking for.
I've waited my whole life for this moment.
I knew you'd show up eventually. Go do a podcast.
Fucking Joker. Doofus. Anyway, speaking of doing a podcast like a Joker doofus.
That's us.
Yeah, that's us. We're a bunch of Joker doofuses.
100% Joker doofus.
Mike, we are the Town Alone Podcast, brought to you by the same people who brought you, wait, I guess nothing recently. Oh, shit, we have to do predictions. That's what we need to bring to you.
Yeah, after we get off here, I'm going to get cracking on it and send it to you. Am I doing the intros now, since I won?
Since you won, yeah. You won our year of predictions. For those of you who are new to the website, us at Talent Alone do professional wrestling predictions. Professional wrestling predictions for every major pay-per-view between AEW and WWE. And so we got that going on. So that's good, Who doesn't love a little bit of that?
Yeah, and I think ignore me.
Never would, Mike.
Oh, you're actually waiting for what I was going to say.
Well, yeah, you did start.
I wasn't. I wasn't going to say anything. I was just curious when the next May 24th. So yeah, for the next AEW pay-per-view was what I was looking up to see. So we'll have this week. We got Backlash, WWE's Backlash, which will be like 2.5 matches. Then May 24th is AEW's Double or Nothing, which will be 4,000 matches because no company knows how to find that sweet spot, brother. They don't know how to Goldilocks this shit. They've been working on it since time immemorial.
That's why we got to bring TNA back. They knew what they were doing, Mike.
You know TNA's still around, right? They have a TV deal with AMC.
I don't think so. You know, if there was one podcast we were going to do a whole, like, wrestling bit on, the professional hockey one does seem like the correct one, right?
Yeah, I feel like there's been, like... I feel like I always stumble across a weird overlap of hockey people that I follow who, like, on, like, nights of wrestling pay-per-views, I'll open my Twitter feed and they'll be commenting on wrestling. I'm like, the fuck is what? No, that's not. This isn't right.
That's even like ESPN's own. I think ESPN, maybe TNT. Jackie Redmond, doesn't she do shit with AEW or used to do shit with AEW too?
Yeah, something like that. That name sounds familiar. I don't know who you're talking about, but that name sounds familiar in a wrestling sense to me, not a sports sense. So that tracks, I guess. Yeah, I mean, shit. They talked about. I feel like. What's his face? The guy who left his podcast and it's not good anymore. Wisniewski.
Oh yeah, Wisniewski.
He's a fucking mark. He's a mark like the rest of us. He had.
I think all three of them on that podcast are. If people don't know what podcast we're talking about Barstool Sports.
No, we're not.
Are you sure?
No, we were talking about Hockey Stick Stew. It's this great podcast called Hockey Stick Stew. Did you see him a couple weeks ago? He was, I don't know what podcast writer is on, but he was on something and he said the thing that everybody was thinking, but no one will say.
Uh-huh.
Or he basically, and I'm not quoting him word for word.
Should stay closed.
I don't have it up in front of me, but he basically brought up the fact about like it's kind of tough to talk about these Ducks because of the Quenneville thing, and no one's talking about it. Like everybody's just ignoring it. We're not that many years removed from the Kyle Beach situation, and he straight up said one thing I can say, not these exact words possibly, but he did say like he doesn't think Quenneville should be back in the league right now.
Good on Gerg.
I was like, good for you. Good for you, Wisniewski.
I like how we're lauding him for being one of the only people in the media willing to speak up about how Joel Quenneville quietly sat by sexual assault. And we still won't even say his name right. We still won't bother to say his name correctly.
Dude, that poor kid. You know, like every first day of class growing up when they did roll.
They go, Greg.
He had
Greg W.
Yeah, and he was like Whataburger, actually. Surprise, surprise.
On the heir to the Whataburger franchise or empire. You ever had Whataburger?
No, I'm not in Texas.
Dude, you'd fuck around with some Whataburger. Like, you know how, like, every time you come here, you're like, I get Culver's and then feel like shit. You do the same thing in Texas with some Whataburger.
Adam, our podcast, our sports empire that we're creating could get extremely successful. And we could be heading to Texas to do a sold-out live podcast somewhere. I'm talking thousands of seats just sold out immediately. And on the way there, I'd be going, I can't wait to try Whataburger.
Yeah. That's the thing. We just need to get famous enough to make this our full-time job so you can stop doing sports podcast and just do a podcast where you travel around the country in an RV trying regional fast food chains.
Nah, I don't want to do that. You know what I've been thinking about lately? And then we'll actually start talking about hockey?
Heidi Klum.
No, not like I'm not gonna like just trying to go more of like a whole food diet. Like I guess you could say I think like paleo is kind of that. When people say I'm paleo, they sound like douchebags.
Right.
So
so you're paleo is what you're saying, but not
just like get away from the processed shit and just eat whole foods. I think that's something I could actually. I said I've been thinking about it. But that's also like a diet where it's like, oh, you know what? Like I actually could. That's not cutting. Like it cuts out. Like obviously, but I need to cut out fast food anyway. So it cuts things out. But also, it's like, hey, you can still eat a lot of things you like. Like it can't be processed. You have to go out and, you know, if you want a Totino's pizza roll, you know, you're gonna have to make from scratch.
gotta go
Whole
out in the
food.
fields and
Except
chop down your wheat.
when I Googled paleo, it said like they stay away from grains.
Okay, that's dumb.
Yeah, does that mean pasta?
Well, he's already out of the playoffs, so
That's not okay.
very easy to stay away from. Like pasta's a carb but not a grain, so probably not.
Lean meats, fish, fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. It eliminates, this is the Google AI overview, it eliminates grains, dairy, legumes, which I thought was weird when I read it. I was like, what the fuck they got against beans? Anyway, and refined sugar to reduce processed food consumption, which a lot of that's good, but the grain thing kind of freaked me out because I was like, wait, is like wheat a grain?
This is the problem with fitting your diet into a box, and that's
why I said I didn't want to
stay
stay paleo. I'm just going to try to eat more whole foods and not
because like
fast foods, processed shit, that kind of stuff. Just be healthier.
The whole thing with paleo is they're like, our body evolved for millions of years to eat these foods, so they're what we should be eating. Completely ignoring the fact that, like, if you're eating legumes, like, people weren't just, like, walking around and just finding legumes and eating them. They were growing them at the same time they grew fucking wheat!
Also,
Anyways.
that doesn't make sense.
Wheat?
Our body evolved to eat these foods. Well, it's like, but yeah, like your body evolves to match your surroundings. So wouldn't it continue to evolve to eat whatever food you could like survive on? Isn't that how evolution works?
Yeah, the idea behind it
works?
is just that we had millions of years in which we ate these things, and we've only had thousands of years in which we had things that we had ready access to, like sugar. Maybe even hundreds of years with things like sugar. So they're like, well, our bodies it takes longer than a few hundred years for our bodies to evolve to the diet, so we're going to eat the diet that our body evolved to over the course of millions of years.
Yeah, no. So yeah, I'm not doing all that. I'm just going to, I just want to try to get...
If you're eating fucking almonds and legumes, and you're like a white dude living in Philly, I hate to break it to you, but your people aren't from where you spent millions of years evolving to eat nuts and legumes. That's shit that your forefathers sat down and farmed or imported.
But it's just weird because I can't imagine like someone eating like beans, right? And then someone else being like, "You're killing yourself slowly by eating those beans." Fucking beans.
Depends on how many beans they eat, I guess.
That's true. It's like a vat full of beans. What are you talking about?
It's totally fine. Anyways, Mike.
Yeah.
We are in fact not a bean podcast, because Boston already got eliminated and Chicago wasn't in the playoffs, so we have no reason to talk about Beantown or the Bean. We are a hockey podcast. The NHL is in full swing, by which I mean it's the postseason. But before we talk about any hockey games, Mike, let's do the one thing all podcasters should do. Talk about these Toronto Maple Leafs.
Okay. It's good for the SEO.
It's good for the SEO. That's why I've said Heidi Klum's name 3 times.
Yeah, what a joke these Maple Leafs say.
What a joke in the sense of, hey, they won the fucking draft lottery.
So, two like thoughts rushed through my mind when I saw this news. One, that's hilarious. It's gonna be hilarious to watch them screw this up. 2, it was also like that's a little suspicious.
Everyone loves a good draft lottery controversy or conspiracy theory. And the best ones we've gotten so far were Ewing with the frozen envelope to New York, and the Mavs getting the Cooper Flag lottery right after they had traded away their other franchise white guy.
McDavid to Edmonton jumping and getting McDavid was suspicious as well.
Yeah, because they really wanted to support the ravenous fans in Edmonton. The giant market share
No.
Edmonton.
That team, okay, we'll get into it later. Forget it.
Guys, we don't have nearly enough moose watching our product. Let's get the Edmonton fans back in.
They've already had an assload of top picks over the last decade and still can't get their shit together. So let's go ahead and give them another one. The guy who everybody's been dubbing the next Wayne Gretzky, wouldn't it be so coincidental and wild if you went to the team that had Wayne Gretzky? Like, come on, man. Wake up, sheeple.
If the NHL was trying to fudge the lottery, they would give generational prospects to the Toronto Maple Leafs, not the Edmonton Oilers, which luckily they in fact did by cheating this lottery to give the Toronto Maple Leafs the number 1 overall pick, Mike.
Yeah, and it's ridiculous.
Which is also crazy because
what were the
they had a top 5 protection on their pick, where if it fell 6th or 7th, it went to the Bruins. And now there's a controversy because of those protections. Now their 2027 pick goes to the Bruins, which was initially owed to the Philadelphia Flyers. So now the Flyers and Bruins are arguing about who gets their 2027 pick.
8.5%. That's what I was curious about.
8.5% to get the number 1 overall pick.
At the number 1 pick. They jumped Vancouver at 25.5, Chicago at 13.5, New York at 11.5, and the Flames at 9.5. But nope, it just happened. Crazy how those ping pong balls work, brother. At a big market city that does nothing but sit on their balls annually, the NHL would never just step in to help them out. Especially when they're literally about to lose their best player, because from everything he said, it sounds like he's fucking done with it, and I don't blame him.
Hey, Matthews and the first overall pick for McDavid. Who says no?
I don't know. The boys over at Barstool were talking about some a big ass like a package that includes Matthews the other way around. A package that includes the 2nd overall pick from San Jose to Toronto for Matthews to pair him up with Macklin and have just an unreal 1-2 at sea.
Yeah, I mean, that would be really cool as we watch San Jose come up 4 points short of the playoffs again.
Sure. San Jose made a big jump to get to that 2nd pick. Good for them.
Yeah. Celebrini's awesome, and adding Matthews would be a good thing, but we also had Matthews and Tavares, and Tavares is top 10 center in the league. So they have a really good 1-2C combination there, and they didn't make the fucking playoffs. So
does this this news was also funny just because it came a day or two after they announced their new GM and everybody shat on it.
What a garbage press conference.
Yeah, bad all around.
John Chayka, when they announced they're going to hire John Chayka. Did you watch any of that press conference?
So I saw bits and pieces from it, and I saw the one dude who straight up said hey, people I've talked to have labeled this guy a con artist, piece of shit,
Steve Simmons.
LMNOP. Yeah,
Steve Simmons, who's a rabble rouser. I have the entire quote written down here just in case someone hasn't heard it yet. Steve Simmons, who is a rabble rouser that's generally hated by the media as a media member. Here's his full quote. In the past, say, 3 to 4 days, I've been in contact with about 20 people who work in the National Hockey League, many of whom are prominent names that we would all know. All of the 20 people I spoke to, one was supportive of John's hiring, the other 19 thought it was a sham, to be perfectly honest. Words were thrown around like con artist, liar, and salesman. How do you come to a different conclusion that I was able to come to in a very short time? He asked that to Keith Pelley, the president of the Toronto Maple Leafs, who was sitting next to John Chayka, who Steve Simmons was talking to. To which Keith Pelley simply responded, "We must have talked to different people." Not the mic drop moment you think it was, Keith Pelley.
Yeah.
I know that he's a liar, a con artist, and a salesman, but the people I talked to said he was a good GM.
Yeah. For those who don't know, John Chayka, at the ripe old young age of 26, became the general manager of the then Arizona Coyotes.
And traded 2 first-round picks for Travis Hunter, right?
No. You're getting your wrong GMs.
Wrong baby GMs.
Get it mixed up, yeah. And it didn't go well, and he got in trouble for hosting a combine kind of a combine. Basically the NHL has this rule, if you host players prior to the NHL combine, you can't have them doing physical drills, and he had them doing physical drills. That's a no. And then they actually made the playoffs the one year, surprisingly, and he left before right as the playoffs started, and then it came out that he was pretty aggressively out there looking at other offers while he was still doing that job with a team that was headed towards the playoffs. So people don't look on him fondly. Also, I think it was that Simmons fella as well. I saw
Fella
was on a podcast and told an amazing story about how he allegedly had like 6 or 8 like monitors, like computers set up in his office. And after he left, the guy who like came in and took over the job, which I believe was Brad Armstrong, went into his office and like tried to like turn everything on and had to call IT. And they were like, yeah, like these, like there's just like one hooked up. Like the rest of these have like nothing on them. Like there's terminals, there was like stuff on the screen, but they were like, it's all just like there, like it's nothing. So if I can find, I saw it yesterday, him telling that story. If I can find it to sound like I'm like a slightly better hockey journalist, if you will, I will. But it was something along those lines. It's very funny.
So do you think they take McKenna, who was the number one prospect for a while, but has kind of fell off a little bit? Ended up with 51 points in 35 games in the NCAA, playing for Penn State. I think he's still the best prospect in the class, but Ivan Stenberg would be the other guy. Stenberg. Who had 33 points in 43 games in the SHL. So what do you think?
Sorry.
McKenna?
I think they go McKenna. It's funny you say this because one of the things I like told myself that I want to get more on Bill Armstrong. That was it. Sorry, that's who followed Chayka. Bill Armstrong, not Brad. Mm-hmm. Anyway, something I told myself I want to like dive more like deeper into this year is the NFL or NHL draft, just because I watch so much college football and I love the NFL draft. I'm like, I should give more love to the NHL draft. So, but as of now, my limited knowledge, I don't see why they wouldn't just go ahead and take McKenna, even if he didn't have like a big bang to the end of his year.
I don't get why people don't just take shots at goalie at the top of the draft, but I'm also not like an NHL draft expert, and I don't have a team, so I don't follow prospect pools that close. I will never understand, and I will die on this hill, why every number one pick isn't a goalie and everyone's highest paid player isn't a goalie. I get goalies are weird, but they are also the most important player on the ice.
I think it's a very weird ecosystem, and paying a ridiculous amount of money at goalie, as good as they could be, will come back to bite you in the ass.
Well, I will tell you, currently the best mocked goalie, or the highest ranked goalie, is currently being mocked to the Oilers. So with that, maybe we should talk some playoffs, eh? Talk some playoffs.
I guess so.
Mike, round 1 is in the books. It'll never be seen again. It's gone forever. Round 1, 2026 of the NHL playoffs. You will live your entire life, die, and be dead forever, and there will never be another round 1 of the 2026 NHL playoffs.
Exciting.
So we're gonna talk a little bit about the teams that were eliminated, and we're gonna point some fingers. We're gonna point some fingers hard. We're gonna point some fingers right in their little fucking faces, and tell you whose fault it is for why this team lost. Who's taking the fall for the loss? And Mike, you want to start in the East or the West?
East.
Let's start with the, I don't know, favorite, the second favorite, the co-favorite coming out of the East, who was eliminated in the first round for the fourth straight year. I know why I said 6. For the 4th straight year, the Tampa Bay Lightning. Tampa Bay Lightning eliminated in 7 games to Montreal. They've lost before that in back-to-back years to Florida, and then were eliminated before that by the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Oof. That was like a big deal in Toronto.
Yeah, they won a playoff series. That doesn't happen in Toronto.
Playoff series here. You couldn't believe it.
Is the most successful Canadian franchise of the last 2 decades somehow the Montreal Canadiens, despite the fact that they just like were one of the worst teams in hockey for like 4 years? I guess Edmonton made back-to-back Stanley Cup finals.
Edmonton did make back-to-back Stanley Cup finals. Better than that, yeah.
With all their Moose fans that you think they're rigging the lottery for. Mike, who's taking the fall for the Tampa Bay Lightning?
This is such a tough one because of the way that Game 7 went. Where Montreal had like 6 shots on goal or something stupid, ended up winning because
Yeah.
they just got goalied at the other end. And I'm not going to jump and be like, Vasi's washed. It's obviously Vasi's fault. So I won't say it's him, but if I had to put the blame on someone,
Don't put the blame on me.
this is gonna be a hot take. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
He had 6 points in 7 games, but Cooch, I needed a little more.
Yeah. Cooch was kind of like, it's kind of like
He had the
Jokic.
assists. I get it.
It was like the Jokic first round thing where we're all like, yeah, Jokic had a 28, 9, and 8, but like you need more out of Jokic. Like Kucherov had like the 6 points, and I think that we were all like, all right, when is there going to be the Kucherov game?
Yeah. Right? It's like you had the assist on that goal. It didn't stand out. Some of the assists didn't stand out. I was like, oh my God, that was all Cooch making that goal happen. You know? I was waiting for that takeover game for him. We never really got it. Never really got it. And the point of this segment is to just pick on one person when obviously in reality these teams lost for a multitude of reasons, not actually one guy. And like really you could just say, you could point out like getting more offensive help anywhere in the lineup, not named Brandon Hagel, and that series would have been nice.
Yeah, what if
I wanted a little more.
What if I called out Victor Hedman?
That's fair.
What if I blamed him? It's fair. He didn't play because he was having mental health issues.
Exactly. I'm just kidding.
You know who I'm blaming for the loss here? If I'm John Cooper, you know who I'm gonna just be hammering all off season? Anthony Cirelli. Listen, I get it. You're the guy that we all went, he shut down Nick Suzuki. He kept Cole Caulfield from scoring. Like, he's a great defensive center. How about you do anything on the offensive end?
Right?
Anything. He had 1 point. Sorry, 2 points, all of which came in game 2. A goal and an assist. His on-ice expected goals percent was 38%. When he was on the ice, the Canadians were expected to score 62% of all goals scored. And Mike, you know what the important thing there is to remember with that expected goals percent? He played most of his minutes on a line with goddamn Brandon Hagel, who scored every goal in the series.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, Anthony Cirelli. If you're just this two-way sitter stalwart, this guy, he can go up and down the ice. He can stop Cole Caulfield on one end and then skate to the other end of the ice and dish up a nice saucer right there in front of Brandon Hagel, who's going to bury everything in the net. Yeah. Why didn't you get any points? Why is your on-ice expected goals percent 38%? Yeah, Nick Suzuki wasn't scoring, but you guys still lost the minutes that you were playing on the ice. I don't know, man. Someone want to tell me? Someone want to explain this to me? Why Anthony Cirelli? We should all be patting him on the back for stopping Nick Suzuki from scoring goals?
I mean, I said it when we covered them as Team Talent Alone. I was concerned about their scoring depth. It wasn't looking pretty. And even like Cirelli, I mean, he only had 52 points on the year, but if you like go through game by game, you see a guy who can be like kind of like streaky.
Yeah.
And he was on the wrong end of that streak.
Yeah, they were matching him defensively against the good offensive players on Montreal. But it's not like he had like the Mark Stone, Jack Eichel against Edmonton series from a few years ago, where they just hard matched those lines and just shut Edmonton into the basement. Like Montreal still won the fucking series, bro.
Yeah.
I know. I'm not ready to hand out the Conn Smythe to Anthony Cirelli for playing good defense on Nick Suzuki.
Yeah, I don't think he's winning it. Hot take.
Some of a hot take. Let's stay in the East. Let's keep moving up the coast. You know what's right north of Tampa Bay there, Mike?
What?
Ottawa. Let's point the finger at someone on the Ottawa Senators. Mike, who's the fall guy? Who are you blaming for the Senators' round 1 loss? And I'm seeing here not many games.
Yeah, only 4. And I hate to do this to a guy I really love as a player. But I literally double checked for the podcast. I was like, wait, he did play all 4 games. Okay, he did. Brady Kachuk, how are you supposed to be the dude and you don't have a single point?
Mike, that's my fall guy too. I'm a little worried about him. Has anyone seen him in weeks? I think the last time anyone has any, like the last time that there was a Brady Kachuk sign was on that podcast he did with Matt, where he was like, "Hey, Ottawa sucks shit, and we should all hate it." Like since then, I'm putting out an APB. I'm putting up Lost posters. I'm worried. I watched those Carolina games. I think Brady Kachuk might be lost somewhere in the swamps of Carolina.
Yeah, they didn't even get shelled. Like they didn't have Linus Penis out there giving up 5 goals on 20 shots or something stupid. Like they got goaltending.
Yeah.
And then they only 2 players out of 4 games, only 2 different players scored goals. Drake Batherson and the workhorse from Whitehorse, Dylan Cousins. Struggled through that one, didn't I?
Yeah, he did. You almost called him the White Horse.
I think I did. I almost called him the White Horse from Whitehorse. But yeah, I couldn't believe it. I went back and double checked. I was like, that can't be right. I know he didn't have a big impact. I remember watching it and feeling like, where's Brady? But there's no way he had no points. No points.
Yeah, they're trying to trick us too into making us think that he played hockey. I kept seeing someone out there wearing his jersey and he was credited with 13 hits.
I don't believe it was him.
I don't think it was him. If it was him, he would have had a point.
Yeah, at least one.
A secondary assist. Come on, something.
Yeah.
All right, Mike. Let's keep moving north from Ottawa on to Pittsburgh.
You buy a compass, bro.
Who are you? Who are we pointing the finger at? Who's the fall guy for the Pittsburgh Penguins' dismissal from the playoffs against their in-state rival, the Philadelphia Flyers?
It's a tough series there. It's a tough series. They really struggled to get goals there. So I'm going to go ahead, and there's a lot of people you could probably point a finger at. You could do a similar thing that we just did with the last team, but I'm going to point a finger at someone who I just don't like. Erik Karlsson, I thought you were so good at scoring goals and getting the assists and making the points. Ooh, 3 points in 6 games. So impressed, Erik Karlsson. -4. Making $4.5 billion a year to not play defense as a defenseman. Ooh, so cool. Fucking joke.
Do you remember when he won the Norris a few years ago and how indignant you were for an entire offseason about Erik Karlsson?
This is ridiculous.
He had 100 points.
I don't give a shit. That's not your job. Like scoring points is the 1B. The 1A is stop them from going in the other way. Sorry. Go ahead.
Mike, Arturas Silvos played pretty well against Philadelphia Flyers. So, just by contrast, I gotta say, who approved the Stuart Skinner guy playing hockey in the NHL in the postseason? Stuart Skinner played what? Was he in there for 2 or 3 games? You got it in front of you by any chance?
I don't have it in front of me, but I can find out real fast.
Yeah, -2.8 goals saved above expected. Now, I'm not saying the Pittsburgh Penguins have a insurmountable defensive front. They mostly have. He played 3 games.
Yeah, Stu started 3. Silva started the other 3.
They mostly have a geriatric collection of guys just happy to be out there skating and not actively having a stroke.
Wow.
And what?
Silvos did really not. He really did play well.
Yeah, Silvos had a good series.
And then losing all 3 games, you had Skinner start the game in net. That might have been what did it.
Yeah. I can't imagine watching Stuart Skinner during the regular season and going, all right, well, this is our main starter in the playoffs.
No, he's been there before. In the playoffs, that is not anywhere special, but he's been in the playoff before.
The Flyers were even nice enough to spot you one of the most absurd goals of this postseason.
Yeah.
And Stuart Skinner still couldn't stop enough shots to keep you around to get completely bodied by the Carolina Hurricanes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, win 1 game in your life, Stuart Skinner. Win 1.
Jesus.
He's so lucky that Tristan Jarry and Connor Ingram exist, or else everyone would just be talking about how bad Stuart Skinner was.
That's true.
All right, Mike. Our final Eastern Conference team going all the way up north, the Boston Bruins. The tippity top of the Eastern Coast. Mike, who is your fall guy for the Boston Bruins?
You're supposed to be the guy on the back end. Supposed to be the guy on the back end and
The back
end. And you know what? They were picking at your nerves, and you got too sucked up trying to be Mr. I'm going to hit people and be tough guy, and you got scored on. Charlie McAvoy. Specifically, he was I think he was like -6 on the series. However, he was a whopping -7 in games 4 and 6 in Boston in front of his hometown crowd. Got embarrassed. Come on, man.
If I had the spare time, I would go back through all of our Olympic pods and clip out you complimenting Charlie McAvoy and then end it with that.
Yeah.
You're just like, and fuck this Charlie McAvoy guy too.
I was saying I love him, but
I hope he gets thrown off a cliff.
Where were you?
I have a similar one. My fall guy for the Boston Bruins. The concept of defense. That's right. The entire concept of defense is taking the off-season heat for the Boston Bruins.
One person. All right.
Buffalo did not get enough credit for how much they dominated that series. I get it. Like, there's one of those names we're used to seeing in the postseason and one that we're not. And even though Buffalo turned into a front runner in the latter half of the year, they still feel like the underdog. So you're not walking into that series expecting them to just hold possession the way they did, to be able to get high danger shots on goal the way they did. But they crushed Boston in this series, but it's hockey, so sometimes pucks go weird ways. Mike, there was three players on the Boston Bruins who had an expected goal percent over 50%. That's it. On their entire team, 3 players. The rest of them were below 50%. Now, technically 4, because Lucas Reichel had like a 50.4 expected goals percent, but he played 1 game. Mm-hmm. So maybe if they played him for the whole series, they'd still be, playing hockey in May.
Maybe.
But, like, the possession battle was so firmly in Buffalo's corner. And outside of, like, Pavel Zacha, like, maybe Victor Arvidsson? Like, can you name someone on that team who played, like, exceptional defense?
No, I was thinking the same thing when I was reminiscing on McAvoy had a bad series, is that we really, like, Buffalo really, like, Swayman played a phenomenal series.
Yeah.
Because there were some games where it's like, man, they just can't get, like, there were some games where we were actually getting good shots. And he, like, specifically, like, game 6 right there. That could have been a blowout. Swayman kept that game tight as long as he could until Zach Benson put a dagger in the heart of all those who live in Boston. But their defense didn't stand out to me as like, wow, we're just struggling with that blue line. I agree.
Yeah. If I was going into the offseason as the Boston Bruins organization, the first thing on my checklist would be like, hey, can we get like a bottom 6 line that could play defense in the neutral zone without just getting absolutely bum rushed up the ice by Alex Tuck and Rasmus Dahlin?
Yeah.
All right, Mike, let's switch over to the Western Conference now. Let's talk about the teams eliminated in the West. And we'll start down south and work our way up north just like we did last time. So we're going to start here with the Edmonton Oilers.
Okay.
The Edmonton Oilers. Mike, since you did all the East ones first, I'll start us off on the West. Mike, the off-season fall guy for the Edmonton Oilers.
All right.
Stan Bowman. How could it be anyone else? Come on. This is the only one on the list that's actually going to have any kind of offseason repercussions, too. All the rest of these people, they're going to get to the offseason, they're going to forget. Brady Tkachuk's going to get traded for 11 first-round picks or whatever.
Right.
Stan Bowman probably should lose his job. This is, like, I get it. He's only been there a couple of years. He hasn't made, like, a ton of changes to the roster, but this is the guy that did the Stuart Skinner for Tristan Jarry swap, and then no other moves. Except for trading for, like, Chicago's 4th best defenseman.
And
guess what? Once again, you got to the playoffs, and your goaltending was so dog shit that you just had no chance in a series.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we doing, Stan? What are we doing? You're going to once again be like, with how much we're paying Darnell Nurse and Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid, it's really hard to sign a high-quality goalie. Like, fucking 14 other teams in the playoffs figured it out. Listen, I don't like the guy. I think he's a bad person. But Carter Hart is playing like a goddamn Vezina candidate suddenly. Mm-hmm. Like, you couldn't get a guy. Tristan Jarry looked washed 2 years ago. I get Stuart Skinner wasn't the solution, but that you said, all right, let's get the guy that I think's been out of the NHL for a year in Connor Ingram, and we'll trade Stuart Skinner for Tristan Jarry, which at the very least was a horizontal move.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It was just doo-doo for doo-doo. It was a nothing burger.
Yeah.
So that's a solid pick. I didn't know what to say at this point with these Oilers. Whose fault is it? And so I had to pull back. I had to go 1,000 feet, and I was like, I don't know anything about this dude. I don't know how hands-on he is as an owner. But at this point, I don't know who else I'm supposed to blame, because there's been multiple GMs, there's been multiple this, multiple that, and you still can't get it done. So Daryl Katz, I guess, the owner of the Edmonton Oilers, fuck you. Like, the assignment in front of you isn't that hard, and yet you continually fail to put the people in place to make the right moves to get it done. You haven't had decent goaltending since 2022 when you got like the very last years of Mike Skinner. All right.
Remember Skinner? Those were the days.
Those were the days. All right. He was decent. He called it a career. You haven't nothing. You couldn't find that. You failed to find depth on the blue line. You failed to find any kind of bottom six depth to help for scoring. You keep making moves that make no sense. You're not helping this team. What was it? I think it was like the TNT broadcast show in between games had like the first takey question of like, have the Oilers failed Connor McDavid? And it's like, yeah, they fucking have. What are you talking about? This isn't a conversation. You have to fill airtime, but what are we doing here? And people can sit back and be like, well, they made the finals 2 years in a row in despite of the malpractice that has gone on in the front office of just constantly making poor moves. Fucking Darnell Nurse is still on a contract that is way too big for him. And we all said that the day they signed it. They can't get...
Hey, like, legitimately, not like a first takey question or anything. I mean, it's a little bit of a first takey question. But if you replace the parade of crap goalies in Edmonton over McDavid's career with just like, I don't know, like, who's a super mid goalie? Thatcher Demko. Healthy Thatcher Demko.
Oh, yeah, they're winning a cup.
Do they win two?
I don't know about two, but they definitely win one of those.
I think they win one of the Florida ones for sure.
Yeah.
I think maybe they beat Vegas in that series that they'd had a few years ago.
And then go on to play Florida again?
Go on to play Florida again, yeah. I don't know. They might have won two cups if they had
right,
like replacement level goaltending.
And that's the thing. We're not looking for world beaters here in the situation. We're looking for you to bring in just like solid, like literally look at the Avs. They're in the same conference.
I refuse to.
They may
I won't do it.
Darcy Comfer will forever have a Stanley Cup ring. The Blackwoods over there right now, they're crushing it. They got the wooden net, and they're making him look great. That's what we're looking for. Thatcher Demko would probably be like at face value, like prime Thatcher Demko is probably better than both those last two guys I just said.
Yes.
So we're just looking for solid league average goaltending. We're looking for solid depth. I'm not looking for a murderer's row, like Olympic roster. You're looking for solid depth that is what? The big C word, not cunt. Consistent.
Didn't know where that was going at all.
Just
okay.
Consistent depth scoring.
How about this? Eric Comrie. Do they win a cup with Eric Comrie as their goalie?
Today? No, he's
not
terrible.
Today, but like at any point.
He did have like that flash in the pan there in Winnipeg.
Jonas Korpisalo.
Okay, I don't know. He was supposed to be a dude, all right?
Colton Ellis. Do they win a cup with Colton Ellis as their goalie?
Put it this way, like Dan Vladar. They're in this they're a way better team this year, automatically.
Yes.
Like they could win a Stanley Cup if they had Dan Vladar in that.
Hey, you know who's a guy who was on just the trash heap for a while there, and they could have probably had for not a lot of money?
Mm-hmm.
Spencer Knight.
Dude. Like, there's moves to be made out there.
How about a guy who we mocked to Edmonton for so long and had a pretty good year? John Gibson. Washed John Gibson.
That would have helped. Like, I'm already telling you right now. I don't know. I shouldn't say that because he's having a great playoffs. I'm just like waiting for like the news in the offseason that like 40-year-old Frederick Anderson is an Edmonton Oiler.
Yeah, I mean he's gonna win the Conn Smythe after after Brendan Moore hoists the trophy. So
it will look great, but then he'll go there and be like, I'm 40 and I'm no longer behind the kind of team top to bottom that I was in Carolina. By kind of team, I mean a team with like a good blue line that can help their fucking goaltender. That's the other thing. To be fair, the shit goaltenders that keep playing is they don't get much help ahead of them because there's like we got Darnell Nurse and Evan Bouchard, comes from the Erik Karlsson Academy of I'm not good enough to be a forward, so I'm defenseman.
Ooh, man, imagine being an Oilers fan must be so frustrating. Might be a lot like being a Bills fan, to be honest with you.
I feel it because you have a generational talent and you're seeing mismanagement stop you from getting that thing. And also, imagine if you're another team who has been like dying for your team to get good, over the years, and you look back at Edmonton, who they're just like Taylor Hall, the next year number 1 overall again, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Neil Yakupov didn't work out, but that's not the point. But then fast forward more recently, the board falls their way and they get Leon Draisaitl. It was a top 5 pick, but point being is they still got Draisaitl, and then the ping pong ball guys in a totally not rigged fashion at all, as Adam told me earlier, gifts them Connor McDavid. They didn't do their homework. Like, ever since that day they drafted Connor McDavid, they just stopped doing their homework. Like, they showed up and they were like, with the number 1 pick, the Oilers take Connor McDavid, and we're done. We just won 7 Stanley Cups, boys.
Expectation is such a bitch because they've made what, 3 conference finals and 2 cup finals?
That's true.
But we're like, man, what a disappointing franchise.
But you get judged by your peaks. Or I'm sorry, you get judged by your valleys, not your peaks.
You get judged by expectation, yeah. And the expectation with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl is to win a cup.
Exactly. And it's just like getting knocked out in 6 by the Ducks was the cherry on the shit sundae that was this season. Because newsflash, if it wasn't this season where the Pacific was weak, the bottom half of the West was weak, there's a strong chance that this Oilers team may have not even been in the playoffs this year.
I mean, they almost weren't. There were stretches where I was like, it's getting a little risky here.
All right, so and the crazy thing is, I know we got to move on, but like you can't even blame like Draisaitl makes the comment, and then McDavid says he agrees with him that the organization has taken a step back. Like if you're an Oilers fan, you can't even be mad at Leon or McDavid if they force their way out. I
mean, you can be. You're more than welcome to.
But however, you have to at least understand.
You have to understand.
People in charge have done nothing.
Yeah. When they come back to town,
they won't win.
McDavid comes back to town playing for the New York Rangers, you're allowed to boo the shit out of him.
Absolutely.
But you also have to go, I mean, I would have left too.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point.
Mike, staying in the Pacific, let's talk about everyone's favorite underdog pick that didn't quite make it, the Utah Mammoth. Now, the Mammoth. Before I tell you who my pick is, can I do a quick aside? Audience, stop listening for a second. Hit the fast forward 30 seconds. Do you want me to leave Jay Chipaterka for you?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. My fall guy for the Mammoth. Mediocrity. The expectation. Listen, you guys were a good team. It was unexpected. How well you guys played. Real hard division. It needed to be in the underdog pick a lot. But you know what the problem is? Is you just don't have enough dudes. So the fall guy is thinking you had enough dudes. The fall guy's the fans. It's your fucking fault, you losers.
You did this.
Dylan Gunther, Nick Schmaltz, Logan Cooley, Clayton Keller all had good series. Clayton Keller, I'll even say, not his best showing, but they all had good series. But outside of that, it's like, okay, yeah, some of the guys you picked up, like some of the pieces, like Yamamoto, Sergachev, Alexander Kerfoot, Brandon Tanev, none of those guys did anything, man. Like Nate Schmidt, Mackenzie Weegar, and you just need more out of these guys. And even Carl Vejmelka, like you have just like this entire team of like dudes in like their mid to late 20s who can fly around a little bit, but you just don't have enough like top end talent. And that's fine for like the first round of the playoffs. But if you want to take the next step, especially in the Central, you really need some of these guys to launch into the next stratosphere, and the bottom of the roster really to raise the floor a little bit. Because I don't know, it's like right now they're like a half tier above the 2010 Cincinnati Bengals, where it's like, yeah, you know what? Logan Cooley is going to be good, and Dylan Guenther is good. But like Nick Schmaltz, Clayton Keller is good, Kyle Yamamoto, Mikhail Sergachev, like all these guys need. It's like, okay, yeah, they're all like, you know, AJ Green. Like, yeah, they're good, but like, you don't even have like a number one defenseman who I'm like, oh fuck, you got to watch out for that guy, right? Like, look at the teams in the Central, right?
Well,
but just like the three teams in the Central ahead of them have like Norris fucking caliber number one defenseman, right? Miro Heiskanen, Quinn Hughes, Cale Makar.
Yeah.
You're not going to compete with them, so then you're going to have to keep hoping you hop over the Pacific, and the Pacific's weak every year. But like the Anaheim Ducks are on the come up, like you're just going to get left behind without improving the both the floor and ceiling of this roster. Right now it's like you're living in a house that's 2 stories, but one of them is a basement, and you need to be living in a house that's 3 stories and it's on stilts to compete in the West in the upcoming years. Like you have a fine floor and a fine ceiling, none of which is ever going to even sniff a cup.
Yeah, they're just a very like middle of the road team who, once again, like I said last time, like 92 points got them in as like the wild card one this year, and it's like most years that's not probably going to cut it.
But they are the fucking they run team. Them in Anaheim, fucking they run.
Yeah, but speaking to like what you said about some of their scoring down the roster, I mean, I don't enjoy doing this, but I'm just going to point it out. Josh Doan of the Buffalo Sabres is 5 points in 7 games. JJ Peterka had no points in his 6 games and is now sitting at home.
Wouldn't it be really funny if like after the season they were talking to, I think his name's something really boring, like Josh Smith or something. But they're talking to the owner of the Utah Mammoth, and they were like, yeah, so what'd you walk away learning from this year? And he just went, oh, it's all JJ Peterka's fault. That's who we're blaming. Firmly on the shoulders of JJ Peterka.
I memean, he had 25 goals in the regular season. We thought that meant he was going to have 25 in the playoffs.
Yeah, JJ Peterka was just like, you could have kind of put like a cardboard cutout out there, and it would have had relatively the same impact. His on ice expected goals percent 44.9%. His off ice expected goals percent 44.9%. Like he had no impact on the game.
They really went out with a fart, man.
A fart makes noise, Mike.
Yeah, it's true. I think that last game was such a bummer.
They went out with like the 45 seconds after you put someone's feet in concrete and drop them into the Hudson River. Like, yeah, maybe there's a couple bubbles, but the hard part's already done.
Yeah.
Yeah, not much else to say about the Mammoth. You know, I like Vejmelka, but you're gonna need a better goaltender. I think you have enough top end talent in Logan Cooley and Dylan Guenther for the future, and Clayton Keller for the future, to where you got dudes, but there's just the roster. It's like it doesn't need an overhaul; it just needs a haul.
Yeah,
and I don't mean Taylor. See what I did there, Mike?
I did.
You see, because Taylor Hall is playing really well in the playoffs.
Just scored an OT winner.
Yeah, he's good. It's good, Mike. He's good. Mike, the Dallas Stars.
Yeah.
The Dallas Stars. Hey, what the fuck's going on with your the bottom of your defense that everyone said was so good?
That's what I was gonna say.
I know. That's why I didn't give you the opportunity to steal this one the way I let you steal JT Paterka. Hey, Mike, you know who you've been talking about is great all year and secretly sucks?
Who?
Fucking Tyler Meyer.
I told you he sucks, and no one listened to me.
Ilya Lyubushkin, Niels Lundqvist. I mean, Bushi didn't play a lot, but Ilya Lyubushkin, Niels Lundqvist, Tyler Meyer, and Esa Lundell. Did they didn't even need to show up, right? Like, yes, Thomas Harley and Miro Heiskanen are always going to be good, but those guys can't play 60 minutes a night for a 7-game series. And the rest of the defense just was like, they got on the plane, I'm sure, but are we sure they actually showed up to the game?
Their defense did not look good at all. I mean, like, Heiskanen did his best to Heiskanen.
I think Heiskanen did some good Heiskanen, if you ask me.
I don't think Harley played that great either, but
I would argue he was their second best defenseman.
Yeah, that's fair. I agree with that. It's like they have no defensive depth, and I said that when obviously we're overlapping here because my fall guy was going to be Tyler Myers. But
just so we get a complete picture, you take Tyler Meyer, I'll take Esa Lundell.
There you go, perfect. I said that we were talking about the trade deadline. I was like, why did it come across like the feed of everything that like the Tyler Myers trade was a big deal? He's not good. Like he literally won a Calder. Like he peaked as a rookie. That's it.
Yeah, but Mike, how many Calder trophies have you won? I don't know why I'm defending Tyler Meyer. It's my default mode. It's my default mode. I just have to do it. Yeah. So, like Tyler Meyer, they also kept moving around his defensive pairings. Like he played a lot with Bichelle, but then they also been playing with Thomas Harley, and just either way, I was like, all right, this defense ain't gonna do shit.
Because they were trying to figure something out. They were like, oh, maybe it's the pairings that's the problem, and it's like, no, it's the guys, it's the dudes, it's the people there.
Yeah, it's the fact that your bottom, what, 7? Not 7. Your bottom 5 defensemen are all bad at defense. None of them can play it. They're just not very good. You see, that's the problem, Happy. He's not any good. Yeah, I mean, I don't have much else to say about it outside of that. They sucked and they were bad.
Yeah, like the Western Conference Carolina Hurricanes did it again. Not in the sense that Carolina has a good defense. The point being that the team with all the expectations and hype and great regular season just sat on their balls again. That
was such a tough draw either way. Because hey, how you doing? Saw Ozzy hop up on screen. Because either way, we're going to be like, what a disappointing season for X. When those two teams were basically had the hardest possible draw in the first round, not named the Colorado Avalanche.
Right. And then we're also, like, as we're about to talk about, we're seeing what the Avalanche are doing to the team that beat the Stars right now.
Narrowly beating them by like a combined 6 goals in 2 games or something. How many goals is it in 2 games?
No. All right, something like that.
Yeah. All right, Mike. Let's final round 1 game we got, or round 1 series we got to talk about here. Let's who's the fall guy for the Los Angeles Kings? I gotta tell you, Mike.
This guy. Oh, sorry,
you
were going first.
No, go ahead. Let's hear.
I'm just saying, for a dude who it's like his last year, we're doing this for him. Let's make one more run for Kopitar, and then let's have Kopitar not get any fucking points or do anything for the whole series. It's a little messed up.
Yeah, I mean, he had 4 games to do something and did a fat load of nothing. It'd be really funny to punch down on Drew Doughty again, though. That'd be a lot of fun.
No,
Drew Doughty also did fucking nothing. But Mike, despite all that, I think I just got to give my fall guy to the Los Angeles Kings. The whole team.
Not Father Time.
Not Father Time. Alex Lafreniere was like, by production was their best player, but he mostly just had a shitload of secondary assists and that just like for counting stats. Outside of that, hey, no one did shit in this series, Mike. They scored what, 5 total goals? 5 goals in 4 games?
Yeah.
Was there a single player on the team who had a positive plus minus?
5, yes, you're correct.
Like,
positive plus minus. Let's see.
Yeah. Like, can we, maybe just scrub the whole team,
No.
Get what you can
the best
with
was Turcotte and Kuzmenko each had only played in 1 game, and they had a 0 for plus minus. Everybody else was negative.
plus minus king, Andrei Kuzmenko.
Yeah.
Like, Kings. Look slightly north or south. I don't know where Anaheim is relative to Los Angeles. Just follow the plan. Tear it all down to the studs. Also, I don't know which way relative to Los Angeles this is, but look that direction at San Jose. Just tear it down to the studs, man. Lafreniere, Panarin, Byfield, Trevor Moore. Anything that's not nailed down, just flip it for something.
Yeah.
You
go, hey.
Listen, it was
Aaron loved the team,
you went out on your shield. You did right by Anze Kopitar. You made the playoffs and once again lost in the first round.
Yeah.
Now Kopitar gets to ride off in the sunset, having at least played some hockey in late April. If you call what they did against the Avalanches playing hockey.
Playing hockey, yeah. Bailey.
But just if it doesn't have a no trade clause, trade it for whatever anyone will give you. Listen, it's the NHL. Toronto might give you their first pick for Drew Doughty. At least make the call.
You don't know. Yeah, let's make the call.
Their next 2 first-rounders went out the door for Scott Laughton and who was the other guy? Someone you liked that I can't remember now. Brandon Carlo.
I don't talk
That's
about
who their next 2 first-rounders went out the door for. Maybe you could trade Scott Laughton back to them for another first.
I really like him.
All right, Mike. That's all of our I don't know, post mortem. I don't know why I couldn't remember the word mortem. Post mortem for round 1. Let's talk about round 2, Mike, and let's do the one thing that you should never do in round 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs, and that's overreact. Let's overreact to fucking everything.
Let's overreact fucking everything. Fucking.
I don't have this written down by game. I just have like a bunch of overreactions written down.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just gonna start giving you some of my overreactions, and we can see if we miss any games once we get to the end of this.
Okay.
Let's start here. The Blake Stank Hall line is just the best line in the playoffs, man.
Best line in the playoffs.
I don't care about Nate McKinnon and Marty Necas. I don't care about Kirill Kaprizov and Matt Boldy, as opposed to they're not really performing in the second round. I don't care about Alex Tuck and whatever person you're trying to convince yourself is an NHL starter these days. We'll go with Constance Hellenius.
What? That's so mean. Why'd you say that?
Because I'm not going to get a lot more shots to take shots at the Sabres the way they're playing, so I'm going to take my shots while I can get them. Blake Stank Hall, outscoring opponents 9-1 at 5-on-5, 9-1, and they haven't played that many games. Mike, Carolina hasn't got that many opportunities to play a lot of games.
But can I ask a question though? Since you're glazing him, should we be concerned? Like, did Philly crack the code last game? Because Stankoven finally did score a goal in the playoffs this last game.
I just like Philly sitting at home 2 games from now. They're like, we've figured out those Carolina Hurricanes. We held Logan Stankoven goalless in 1 game. We set the plan for those future teams to stop them.
They know.
My alternative take here, which would be good for SEO, is simply, did Carolina win the Mikko Rantanen trade? Or, even better, did Dallas lose the Mikko Rantanen trade?
They might have.
Listen, I'm just saying, you want to tell me how many points Mikko Rantanen had in the playoffs? I'll tell you what, it's less than Marty Necas and Logan Stankoven, despite the fact those 2 guys haven't even hit 7 games yet.
True.
You know? Last year, I don't even have this written down. This is an off-the-cuff overreaction to round 1. Last year, Mikko Rantanen had this crazy playoff series against the Avs, and we were like, oh my god, Mikko Rantanen, best playoff performer in history. And maybe we set expectations too high. Maybe you would have just been better with Logan Stankoven or Marty Necas.
Rantanen really sucked. He had 7 points, and he was a -8 in 6 games.
Yeah. And most of those were secondary assists too, right? Like he didn't have a lot of.
I don't have it broken down by primary and secondary, but 6 of them were assists. Yeah.
Let me. I'll pull that up real quick so we can continue to insult Mikko Rantanen. Really, just kicking the Dallas Stars while they're down.
Yeah, Jesus.
Rantanen had 3 secondary assists, 3 primary assists, and 1 goal.
Mm-hmm.
Just having the stank on your team.
Good.
Seems like it amounts to winning. In a way that having the Rantanen doesn't. Mike, you got an overreaction? You want me to just keep rattling some of mine off?
Oh, I had no reaction.
Yeah, give me a reaction.
Just because it's kind of related to this. No, it's not. Never mind. I'll throw it out there anyway. Should we just call the whole thing early and give it to the Avs? Are we just done?
You gotta jump through hoops to say why it's related, but I get why it's related.
Yeah, just because of the Rantanen part of it. Because that game 1, which was stupid, 9-6 was the final score. It's crazy to say this, but if you watch the third period, the Avs turned it on in the third, and we're like, no, we're the better team, though. And dominated in the third.
Yeah.
Stop fucking around.
I think that there's so much onus on those top 2 lines and those top 2 pairs for the Wild to keep up with the Avs and play hard-nosed defense and get quality shots on goal. One of my overreactions is that Joel Eriksson-Ek is the best player on the Minnesota Wild.
Mm-hmm.
Because without that, like, defensive stalwart, you can just see the Wild get worn down. Like, even a guy who has never even heard the word defense in his life, like Kirill Kaprizov, he is gassed by the end of the game because you're spending, at that point, 40 minutes of ice time trying to get pucks back in your own zone and advance them up the ice. Like, you're just getting blanked on that shit. At least Eriksson-Ek could put up a fight against these. And, game 1, we had the crazy, like, Quinn Hughes, Cale Makar, I could do anything, you can do better, I can do anything better than you game.
Right.
Not so much in game 2. Not so much in game 2.
And it makes you wonder, like, how long can they go with, like, Quinn Hughes, like, I love the motor on Quinn Hughes, love the engine, the gas in the tank. We saw it in the Olympics where he's like, nope, not leaving the ice. Dude's averaging just shy of 31 minutes a game. Brock Faber is averaging like 29 and a half. Like, I get it, it's the playoffs. It's like, god damn, you're gonna keep that up for 4 series? And
without Eriksson-Ek, like, those guys also have to be the best 2-way players on the ice.
Absolutely. And I feel like it's showing against Colorado when you face a deep team and Minnesota's just not deep enough. And I don't know. Like, I'm watching. This ties in. I'll go and throw out my other. This was an early overreaction, but between when we came up with the segment, and then we ended up eventually recording, another game ended up happening in Anaheim, Vegas. Mm-hmm. But I was watching game 1 of Anaheim, Vegas, and this is probably part of my attaches to my why, like, let's just call it the Avs got this. So I'm watching, like, this Vegas Ducks game 1 thing, and the Ducks were down 1 late. I'm watching them trying to, like, find a way to, like, put pressure on net and score a goal late, and I just went to myself, this team's not good. Like, this team has some young, exciting players, but this isn't a good hockey team. And then that team that I just said isn't a good hockey team went out and just beat up the Knights last night. So it's like, Here's a mega overreaction. Does the West just suck? Except for Colorado?
My Anaheim Vegas Golden Knights take, it's so funny because, like you said, the podcast got pushed today. So I initially had my Ducks Golden Knight overreaction that said Knights in 4, and then I literally have, like, I have a strike through on it. Like, I highlighted it, hit strike through, and underneath it says Ducks in 5. So, listen, let's talk about the series. And okay. I also have, like, another thing with the Wild about the goaltending and like pulling Gustafsson and all that, which we'll circle back in a second. But while we're talking about the Ducks, let's talk about the Ducks. The Knights cannot skate to keep up with the Ducks. I get that the Ducks, like, they've played one good defensive game in this series.
Yeah.
Mind you, they played really good defense against Edmonton. I think that the best defense they played the entire year has been in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. But they've had one good defensive game, so let's not, like, crown them the 1999 New Jersey Devils or anything. But like fucking Ivan Barbashev and Mark Stone cannot keep up with any of the players. Like they have to be crossing their fingers and toes that any second now Jacob Trouba is going to hit the ice because they cannot keep up with any of the other players on this Ducks team. They are so fucking fast, and the Knights are pretty lucky that the one time in the history of hockey that an icing got called off when two players were racing towards the puck led directly to their game-winning goal.
Oh yeah. I guess I'll backtrack a little bit and say I guess like the Ducks. I'm not saying the Ducks are bad. Like they're fun. They're a fun team to watch. They're like fast. They're fun. That's the way they play, and I enjoy it. But like, they're not a great hockey team. And I'm starting to just come down to the fact that these Knights aren't either. Go ahead, though. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I don't remember what I was going to say. Mike, the Ducks, in classic Ducks fashion, are a -2 goal differential so far in the playoffs.
Yeah. Why would they change their game, Adam?
Yeah, play the way they got you here.
Yeah.
I saw a guy, I was walking down the street today, I saw a guy wearing a Red Wings hat and a Red Wings sweater at the same time. Mm-hmm. And then watched him proceed to struggle to get in through a door. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty on brand. You can't get in through that space there, eh?
It's all tough there, right?
Not even a goaltender in the way. So real quick, just to touch on it, I alluded to it a second ago. I before we get too far off the Wild Ave series. So Wallstedt allows 8 goals on 42 shots. They pull him and put in Gustafsson for Gustafsson's first game of the playoffs. And Gustafsson proceeds to allow 2 goals on the first 2 shots on goal and 4 goals on 22 shots. Mm-hmm. Hey, Minnesota, you're going to tell yourself that if we put Jesper Wallstedt out there and we play defense that allows only 22 shots on goal, that you can come back in the series. It doesn't matter who you put in goal.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It doesn't. If it make you feel better and you just don't want to worry about him like spraining an ankle or anything, put Kirill Kaprizov in there. Put the goalie pads on him. Put him out there. It doesn't matter who you put in goal.
I'll say like between the two, I'd probably be like, let's just go ahead and go with Jesper Wallstedt. He got us here. He's had some good games, but like that, them getting lit up it's because you're playing the Avs and your team is struggling to contain them at all. It's not as much the goalie.
Yeah, unless you're getting Eriksson Ek back and also like, I don't know, Dominic Hasek to play the second goalie. Just put 2 goalies out there. Can a team do that? They're not legally allowed to put 2 goalies on the ice at once, right?
No, you're not.
Like, you can't play with 4 skaters and 2 goalies. You can't do like the opposite of pulling your goalie.
You can't.
Because that'd be great if like a team was up 3 goals in a game 7 and pulled all of their skaters except for 1 and just put 5 goalies and 1 skater out there.
I don't think that'd be fair. I feel like there's a reason you're not allowed to do that.
They should put me in charge of hockey. Can I give you a Sabres Canadiens overreaction?
Sure.
This is not going to be a rivalry of the future, the way that people are saying.
You don't think so? Why not?
Because the Sabres just proved they were in a different stratosphere in Game 1.
I don't think it was that far apart.
I don't know, man. Like, there was, like, I think Nick Suzuki had his best game of the playoffs, and Juraj Slafkovsky finally showed that he was still alive and breathing. And I think, like, I get the score was only 2 goals, but Jakob Dubas has been outrageously hot, and that was kind of really the difference. That was kind of why he stayed in it. Like, at the point where, once again, players like Josh Doan and Ryan McLeod and Jordan Greenway are leading your scoring, you don't really have a shot here. I mean, like, the top guys weren't even going. And you can pat yourself on the back and say, of course they weren't going. That's why we have Lane Hudson and Nick Suzuki to shut down those players. But, like,
yeah,
like I watched that game, man. Dahlin should have had a goal. Like, that guy was getting great pressure on net. Like,
well, I think that's what...
Fucking Tage Thompson was asleep the entire game. He's Tage Thompson right now in this series is currently on a boat somewhere with Brady Tkachuk in the swamps of Carolina. Like, we're looking for Tage Thompson. He was not there for game 1. What happens if he shows up for game 2?
He didn't need to be there.
He didn't need to be there.
We can run with them speed wise.
Yeah.
Sorry, stop saying we. Makes me sound biased. The Sabres can run with the Canadians speed wise, and then they have a line in the Norris Benson Doan line that's just so good. A very good two-way that they can put out there to go up against Montreal's top line.
Yeah, like Montreal won over Tampa Bay because I think those two teams were like I think it was obvious those two teams were relatively well matched up.
Mm-hmm.
And Montreal had the hotter goalie. Now it just feels like the Sabres are the better team after one. And so like we're this whole like we have this to look forward to in the second round of the playoffs for years and years to come. I don't know, man. Like I'm not gonna. I was there for like the Winnipeg President's Trophy season. I was there for like the Capitals' best record in the East season last year. Like it's hockey. You can never say this team was great this year. They're gonna be great from here on out.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna here to say like Buffalo's the new Colorado or anything like that. But game 1 kind of has me feeling like if these two teams are getting matched up in the playoffs every year it's gonna be Montreal going, fuck, we got Buffalo again.
I'm not gonna throw out any overreactions about Buffalo because I don't want to jinx anything.
I think that is a very safe way.
Yeah, and we did only put 16 shots on net, boys. All right, so come on, we gotta pump that number up. I will say this though. Say this. I'm just putting this out there for certain franchises like the Oilers to know. We got Alex Lyon for 2 years, $3 million. Something out there.
Yeah. I will also say, so they like you said, 16 shots on goal. They coasted in that third period.
Yeah, they were outshot big time. But the funny thing was when they showed like the shot total in the third period, I was like, if you watched the play, it's not that one-sided.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think that there was ever a moment in this game. I'm not going to say literally never a moment because going in, obviously, like I wasn't going to just say whoever scored the first goal was it. But like maybe after the Ryan McLeod goal, I was like, all right, I think Buffalo's got this one in the bag. And they just kind of
also
played sit on the puck third period.
You know, like the national hockey media coming in here, glazing Zach Benson, acting like we haven't been talking about it all year. Acting like me and my boy Dmitry Filipovich haven't been talking about it all year.
I will say, Mike, 2 power play goals. That's going to be pretty exciting for you.
I was like, holy shit, we're on a heater. 2 is a streak.
2 is a streak. Just a few other overreactions here. Jack Eichel should demand a trade.
Whoa. Where? Why?
Jack Eichel is so
good.
fucking good. He is so fucking good. And like Mitch Marner's playing like pretty well in the playoffs. Like not like I would even say he's not playing as well as he was in his Toronto days. Like he's playing well enough. And we obviously glazed Mark Stone in the first round, but like Jack Eichel is so far and away out kicking this team right now.
Oh, yeah.
And like I'm sure during the offseason, Vegas is gonna like, somehow trade for Auston Matthews and the first round pick from the Toronto Maple Leafs. And this will all be solved. That'd be so funny to get Marner and then bring Matthews in. And it'll all be fine. But the Pacific is on the come up with Anaheim and San Jose. And I think Vegas might be on the slide a little bit, and you're relying on Carter Hart, and you are in your prime, and you are so fucking good, and you can win a second ring somewhere like Carolina, or dare I say Dallas or Minnesota.
Boston. I feel like that's where you try to go.
No, he went to college there. He went to college with friend of the pod, Tyler Carcara. So if I'm Jack Eichel, like I'm not saying like definitely do it. Like if you guys come back and win the series, obviously can't demand a trade after that, but like maybe demand a trade. Maybe move out of the Pacific and avoid the whole San Jose Anaheim thing.
I don't think I'll demand a trade.
No one demands a trade from Vegas. They only demand a trade and then get traded to Vegas.
Yeah.
While we're sticking in the series, well, this is kind of a dual thing. Is Jackson LaCombe better than Lane Hudson? Is Jackson LaCombe secretly, of the three core young defensemen, Jackson LaCombe, Matty Shafes, Lane Hudson, is LaCombe secretly the future Norris guy?
He might be.
He's been playing.
Really good.
He has played maybe the best defensive minutes of any player in the playoffs, not named Joel Eriksson-Ek.
Yeah.
Like, LaCombe has just been put hard against other teams' best offensive players, and he is playing some damn good defense against them.
He's playing really good. As I said, Anaheim has so many like good, fun young players. I don't know.
Do you think Bennett's Nick to get to that?
He hasn't really done much in playoffs, unfortunately. I'm waiting for him.
I think he has a goal, right? He had one goal.
He has like a goal, yeah. Like a goal.
I have no overreactions for Hurricane Flyers. What's the overreaction? Like, the Hurricanes are the best team in the East. Yeah, we kind of knew that. I mean, I guess I had the blank stank and Hall was my overreaction there, but
yeah, I don't really have. I guess my one overreaction would be like, wow, like I think the Hurricanes played. I guess I should. No, I think they played in the easiest division in hockey this year, and I know that like by the numbers, the Pacific was worse. I don't care.
Have you heard of the Pacific?
I don't care. The Metro was terrible. It was boring. This is what we're getting right now.
Let's see.
This is Canes in 4 again. I'm calling it here, and I know it's like, oh, they went to overtime. Watch out. They took them to overtime. Did you watch the game? They scored 2 goals close to each other inside of the first 5 minutes. And then from that point on, Anderson was nails.
Yeah.
And Vladar did the best he could to stand on his head. And it was frustrating because it was one of those overtimes where one team is just dominating. Then all of a sudden it goes the other way. You're like, oh, fuck. And it was one of those like dirty garbage overtime goals where if me, I'm not a fan of either team. So as someone just watching the game for entertainment purposes, I was like, oh, that goal wasn't exciting, which was a bummer. But still, I think like Philly just gave Carolina their best shot and it didn't work out. I see no way.
Yeah, I think that's
Philly
the takeaway from game 2 is Carolina just absorbed the absolute best shot Philly had. That's it.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe we get the gentleman's sweep. I feel confident and it's another Kane sweep.
Mike, I think your hottest take there is that the Metro was worse than the Pacific. The Metro had 5 teams that were at least 0 in goal differential. The top team, or their
okay,
their 6 seed, the New York Islanders, were a -8 with 91 points and missed the playoffs. The Pacific, 91 points would have gotten you in the playoffs.
I amend my statement. If you asked me, like, hey, you want to watch some hockey? Like, sure. Like, do you want to watch metropolitan teams play, or you want to watch Pacific teams play? I'd be like, I want to watch the Pacific teams play. They're
and then
fun.
the jokes on you when you had to watch the Kings play the Canucks.
Still somehow more fun, I think, than the Metro. Bland ass.
What would be the most
Metro hockey?
The most fun matchup in the Metro would have been like what? Islanders Flyers, Islanders Caps.
Like a healthy Devils team. Supposed to be fun. Supposed to be.
Supposed to be.
Supposed to be.
All right, Mike, that's all my overreactions. You got any more overreactions you want to throw out there?
No, I think I'm good. Well,
we got a couple more things here. We got to get to our Thursday night pre-action, which is...
one game tonight, right?
One game. It's Hurricanes Flyers, also known as the super fun Metro Division playoff. Good news, Mike. 8 p.m. puck drop, which is just when we're going to be finishing up our stream, so you'll have plenty of time to watch.
Yep.
Hurricanes Flyers, 8 p.m. start. Give me your pre-action to the results of Hurricanes Flyers.
What am I going to be saying when the game is over?
What are you going to be saying when the game is over?
I'm going to be saying, wow, the Flyers blew another multi-goal lead and got outplayed and lost.
My pre-action is I just simply can't believe the Flyers somehow pushed it to another 0-0 overtime in the playoffs and then lost by 2 goals? How do you lose by 2 goals when it's tied in overtime? We had 2 0-0 overtimes in round 1, and neither of them
Yeah.
were from the games you expect them to be.
Yeah.
What
was there? I know Tampa. Obviously, Tampa Montreal was one of them.
Flyers Penguins had a 0-0 overtime.
Right. No, I would expect that because it's a boring Metro. That makes sense.
Yeah, but you don't expect the Pittsburgh Penguins to be able to stop a single fucking shot on net.
That's fair.
You think Erik Karlsson staying in front of Stuart Skinner stopping a lot of shots on net?
No, probably not.
Mike, we got to close it up here. We got to get to our Conn Smythe watch. Conn Smythe watch. You got to remember that, Mike. We're always on Conn Smythe watch because the one thing that I love here at Talent Alone is awards. I should say awards during the time frame that they are being fought for. I don't give a fuck who wins any awards now that it's the postseason.
Right.
Like, once again, allow me to make my plea to all major sports franchises out there. Announce your awards between the end of the regular season and the start of the playoffs. Because once the playoffs start and you give me the Vezina finalists and one of those guys is currently playing hockey, I simply don't fucking care.
Hey, did you see the finalists for the...
Yeah, Darlene. Who else? Who else was on there? I saw Darlene was.
It's Hughes, Darlene, and Warwarmer.
No, Makar. Makar revenge game coming up.
I'm guessing it was Makar, Darlene, and Werenski.
No, Hughes revenge game coming up.
Yeah, now I'm confused which was Alexi.
I'm gonna guess Werenski wins it.
I was just so excited and blinded by Darlene being a finalist that I did. Makar, Darlene, and Zach Werenski.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and guess that Werenski wins that and isn't currently playing hockey, so good for him. But Mike, who is currently your top 3 on your Conn Smythe watch?
I wasn't ready for the segment. I forgot that we're doing this.
All right. Well, my number 1, still hanging on after last week.
Wrong.
Little Freddie Anderson, a Freddie Adu, playing some damn good hockey. Number 2 behind him, had to put him on there. The Stank, Logan Stankoven. Just cooking. Just cooking. What? You don't like the Stank? You just hate the Carolina Hurricanes. The best team in hockey. You know, I'm going hard the other way from you now. I'm going to be a huge Carolina Hurricanes guy.
Yeah.
And Mike, I have a rare tie for 3rd place because I wanted to have 4 and I only allow 3. Mm-hmm. A rare tie for 3rd place. And they're from the same series. Jack Eichel with 10 points and playing hard two-way center line or two-way center minutes for the Vegas Golden Knights. And Jackson Lacombe, the aforementioned future Norris winner, better than dog shit ass Matty Shafes. It's my tied for 3rd on my Norris ballot.
All right. I'm going to throw together a top 3 here.
Let's take the Conn Smythe.
I'm going to throw together a top 3 real fast. I'm going to eliminate Kaprizov, Hughes, and Boldy because I don't think they're going to be there.
Remember, this is not looking forward. You're not projecting. Only so far in the playoffs.
Okay. Only so far in the playoffs?
So you're going to get your top 3 are going to be Caprice, Hughes, and Boldy?
No, absolutely not. But that is for funsies. I will say Nate McKinnon.
Uh-huh. That's a good pick.
10 points, 6 games. Just comes natural to him as long as it's not a wide open net with a gold medal on the line.
I think he has the most points per game in the playoffs so far.
Yes, by points per game pace he does, yeah. Well, actually, no, he's tied by one man. Leon Draisaitl.
Who's he tied with? Tied with Draisaitl. All right.
Watch out, because Draisaitl's his can't change. His points per game is set.
Yeah. If Draisaitl, if McKinnon falls down to a point per game, or falls lower than Draisaitl on the point per game basis, should we start making the case that Draisaitl should win the Conn Smythe?
I think so. Number 2, I'm gonna say Quinn Hughes. Mm-hmm. If they do beat these Avs, it is going to be by like an ungodly performance by him. Yeah. He's averaging, like I said, almost 3 minutes a night. It's unreal. And then, you could say like Kaprizov or Boldy for my 3rd spot. But to keep it fun, and stay a homer. Alex Lyon, .950 save percentage in these playoffs, buddy.
Yeah, Alex Lyon's having a great series, which sucks if you're Montreal because they finally just got past like broken down Vasilevsky and now they have to play a real goalie.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Well, there you have it. Those are the current Conn Smythe ballots. We had 0 overlap somehow. That seems like that shouldn't be possible.
That's fun.
Mike, you got any plugs or anything you want to mention on the way out the door here?
Yeah. Watch our stream. Right. Even though by the time you hear this, it'll be too late.
By the time you hear this,
come watch it anyway. Watch the VOD.
What's the VOD? Yeah. You can find all of our links in the show notes, including to our other YouTube channel, or if you are listening to the audio version, both our YouTube channels. Our other YouTube channel where we stream. If you just like hanging out with us, come hang out, or just watch the stream and pretend you're hanging out, and then cry to yourself quietly because your only friends are recorded. We'll be back next week, same time, same place, to talk more about the hockey. And tomorrow, although for you, probably today or yesterday or 3 days ago, depending on how fast of an editor I am, I'll be doing a basketball podcast with Tyler Karkar of the podcast, talking about basketball. And Mike, since we don't do shout-outs on our way out the door here, do you want to guess who qualified for at least 0.1 expected goals so far in the playoffs? Give me any one person who only has 0.1 expected goals in the playoffs.
Expected goals for?
Expected goals. So
okay.
Expected goals for.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So it's a skater. It's a skater. Give me any one player.
0.1.
0.1. I'll give you one guess.
I don't know. There would be a lot of them, wouldn't there?
Let's see. There is currently 29. There is currently 37 who have 0.1 expected goals.
Okay, it has to be someone who hasn't scored a goal, probably, because it's expected. I'm going to say Jason Zucker.
Jason Zucker is incorrect. Jason Zucker, in fact, has 0.2 expected goals.
Damn.
So close, Mike. So close. And with that, I just saw one that you should have guessed here.
Who?
Henry Yokiharu. Let's get out of here.